Welcome to Take Off, a Points and Miles podcast by 10x Travel. I'm your host, Bryce, and today I'm joined by the entire crew, Emily, Matt, Travis. How are we doing today, everyone?
Doing well. I realized, Bryce, that I actually have an important question for you because last episode where you weren't here, we learned a lot about each other and we're missing your answer. So the world needs to know, Bryce, are you a lemon or are you a lime?
Is there no additional context to this question?
Nope.
That's the question.
That's the whole question.
Why am I immediately jumping to lemon? And
that's fine.
What
you can be.
What makes anyone choose either of those? And the way that Emily says that makes me think that was the wrong answer. It's fine.
Well, I'm just a lime. I'm a lime, so that's fine. You can be a lemon.
I was a lemon,
Travis.
though. I'm a lemon.
You can be boring if you want.
Lemon seems more
Wow,
functional.
shots fired.
It's totally up to you.
Shots fired.
Wow.
Look, I was a lemon because, well, you'll just have to listen to the last episode to know why I'm a lemon. I'm not gonna give any spoilers here.
Well, the way that we record these episodes, for those listening, I have not heard this last episode yet. We're recording without me having any context there, so I might sound even more ridiculous than I do now. But yeah, I'm a lemon.
Team
We'll
Lemon, let's go.
Well, if you are still new to Points and Miles, whether you are a lemon or a lime, and just feel like you could use a refresher, I recommend going back and checking out episodes 1 through 6 of this podcast, where we covered the basic fundamentals of Points and Miles. And for any other lingering questions, be sure to check out our Facebook group, the largest Points and Miles Facebook group on the planet. Currently over 300,000 members, who now I want to poll and ask if they are lemons or limes, just to see how that goes.
We love group polls. Toss it in there.
Huge fan. Get some debate going. In today's episode, we're going to talk about spring cleaning, Points and Miles edition. So maybe you're just recovering from holiday spending, securing that first sign-up bonus of the year, planning your vacations and travel for later this year. With that in mind, we're going to talk about our tips for organizing your award travel, staying on track to reach your goals, how to best plan for the rest of the year, and how to kind of clean up your card portfolio, including a bit of a deep dive, if you will, through fellow lemon enthusiast Travis's card portfolio and some of his own spring cleaning activities. We discussed some of these topics in our New Year's resolutions episode, so it'll be a good chance to see who's kind of sticking to those so far at this point in the year. And I want to warn you ahead of time that we're going to mention our free tool called My10x many times throughout this episode, and for good reason. My10x is the single best way to manage your Points and Miles portfolio, see all your cards, point totals in one single place, and make these sorts of analyses and decisions easier, though you're still on your own for whether you are a lemon or a lime. My10x also tells you about
new feature.
Good.
Yeah. Can we get a lemon or lime mode in My10x?
It's like dark mode or light mode. It's either like neon green or yellow. I'm good with that.
That feature has been rejected.
Well, you heard it here, folks.
I'm going to get the 300,000 person army to submit My10x support tickets requesting
start a revolt.
Mode.
Start a revolt.
Well, one thing that My10x does do, not lemon lime mode, but it does recommend your next best card based on the current cards that you have. Probably its best feature, at least in my experience, until we launched lemon and lime mode. This is off to a great start. So with that said, and before we kind of go through Travis's own situation, let's talk more generally about kind of what is spring cleaning from a cards, points, miles perspective, and why should you kind of apply that to your broader points and miles strategy. So I'll kind of open this one up to the entire crew here. How do you think about kind of cleaning, pruning your card portfolio? How often do you do it? And, when you're doing it, are you thinking about lemons or limes?
I think like what always kickstarts me into spring cleaning is the feature in My10x that tells me the total annual fees that I'm paying for all of my cards. So that's a great way to reflect on yourself as a person and your cards in your wallet. Because generally that's usually what scares people or shocks people is like, oh man, this is how many annual fees I'm paying. I better like go through and make sure I'm getting a good value out of what I'm paying for.
Yeah, for me, it's something that I don't necessarily do on a routine timetable, but there's this feeling, this intuition, and I'm really, really there right now. When it's a good time to do it is when I just feel like I don't have a clear path. I'm kind of at a roadblock, and the reason why that's a good time for spring cleaning is because I need to take inventory of like the cards I've had, what I've opened. While my 10x does make that really, really easy for me, sometimes I'm kind of forgetting about the cards that I've opened up maybe more than 6 to 8 months ago. And so when I'm feeling just a little uncertain as to what my next points and miles move is going to be, is a good time to go back, take inventory to figure out what cards maybe I need to close or product change or seek a retention offer for. Which cards might I be eligible to be getting a bonus again sometime soon? And just all of that is kind of pre-work to figuring out what the next steps of my points and miles strategy are going to be.
Yeah, for me, it's I do it more from more simple approach. Whenever I do, it's like similar to what Travis was saying. Is I don't do it on a set schedule, but every once in a while, I'll look at a couple cards and hey, I paid $650 for this card last year. What did I get out of it? Did I get close to or more than the annual fee for it? If I did, great. I might evaluate whether I'm going to keep it or not. It's still not guaranteed that just because I got more value out of the annual fee that I'm going to keep it, but that definitely helps in that calculation. If I didn't get close to it or remotely close at all, I'm probably going to cancel the card.
See ya.
And I'm very much the same way that you described, Matt. Not only looking backward and did I get the value out of this last year, but do I expect to do it again? Really, for me, spring cleaning of cards, points, miles is no different than evaluating any other recurring purchase that you have. You see the charge from Hulu or something, and you're like, am I actually going to use that this month or get that much value out of it? I don't know. If not, maybe consider getting rid of it. Just good old consumerism and making the right choices with how I want to spend my money. So some particular things that you want to look at when doing this spring cleaning. The first and the biggest thing is what we've all kind of mentioned so far: annual fees. Many credit cards, especially the ones that we talk about in travel, charge some sort of annual fee. Sometimes it's waived for that first year, but then it shows up predictably a year later, and you have to kind of ask yourself these sorts of questions, to ask, am I getting the value out of this? Another thing to be looking at is bonuses and perks that you're not taking advantage of or that might still be remaining on your card. These are things like free night certificates on some of the co-brand hotel cards, the many credits that you see on cards like the Platinum by American Express. Are you using these? Do you intend to use these at some point in the near future? What else is sitting out there on that card that you could potentially be giving up if you close it? And then, of course, outside of cards, this is things like cashing out money that you might have on shopping portal apps like Rakuten or Top Cashback. That I actually just did myself a couple of days ago after seeing this outline come across my desk. Do all of you do that regularly? Because I've yet to meet someone who is on top of that. It seems like it's always like, oh, I forgot that I have this money out there, and yay, here it comes, free money.
Well, the nice thing on the Rakuten one is it does it for you.
Yeah.
But at least if you have it hooked up to earning membership rewards points. I guess then they'll send you your big fat check too. So yes, that one's automated. But Top Cashback and a few of the other ones you have to manually request it. So I do maybe once a quarter or so.
Oh, that's way better than me. I just Top Cashback is one of those. It's like one that I go to when something's not on Rakuten, or like if the earning rate is just hugely different. And otherwise, I kind of forget about it sometimes. Especially to cash out. I've got $322 sitting in there right now.
No, Travis.
Yeah.
Put that in a high yield savings account.
Cash that out.
Yeah, it's sitting there doing absolutely nothing for me. I could be getting like 5% on it.
Yeah.
You go put that $15 a year to work. Travis.
Yeah.
Hey, you're rounding down. Don't forget my
That's true.
my extra $1.10 from the 22 extra dollars.
Yeah.
So another item to be kind of thinking about from a spring cleaning perspective at this time of year is status and what you intend to do status-wise for hotels, airlines for the rest of the year. Taking a look at any changes that are coming out in programs that you participate in, looking at your projected travel to see if you're going to reach particular status milestones. I know for me, as someone who's almost always traveling on points and miles, and I'm less of a frequent traveler these days now that I have kids, that's not so much a concern for me anymore. But how about for any of you? Do you have any status plans or thoughts that you're thinking about right now?
Nope.
Not
for
really.
me.
But
Yeah.
You're still globalist, right? For another year?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
have that for another
Okay.
year. And,
Yeah.
and titanium from Marriott. So those just I don't make a huge effort per se. The globalist one I just got from that Bill promo last year. So that'll be a one-hit wonder for me. I've only stayed at like one or two Hyatts since I earned that. So it'll be nice. We have some upcoming stays on it, but kind of a flop for me. But the Marriott one, I don't go out of my way to earn it. It just kind of happens. I mean, we travel a lot, so it's the brand I choose. But I don't like if it's December 15th and I'm 3 or 4 nights away. Yeah, I would probably hit it. But if I were 15 nights away, I wouldn't go out of my way to requalify for it.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those, especially on the hotel side, between Marriott and Hyatt. The fact that award nights count towards elite status now for both of those brands, it makes it a lot easier. Marriott status has just gotten so easy to. Well, first of all,
No,
you
it's
can
kind
get
of
platinum
a
with
joke.
just one
Yeah.
card. And with the elite night credits, yeah, you can get what, like start with 40 or something.
Yeah, I start with 40 nights a year. It's absurd.
Yeah. And so titanium is only an additional 35, which I don't know, if you just happen to stumble across our podcast randomly and are hearing us for the first time on this episode mentioning staying 35 nights at a Marriott, you might think that sounds absurd. But it's really not. It's not that many, especially if you've got a little bit of work travel. It can be pretty easy to get your way up to some high Marriott status. Hyatt, a little bit harder, but still with those award nights counting, and what is the business card? Every $5,000 you spend, you get 2 free nights.
Mhm.
I think these are kind of examples for me of taking inventory of status at the beginning of the year. It's less, status is something we tell you don't chase, but it's more, oh, am I going to be close to this? Am I going to be close to globalist? Just between your normal Hyatt stays, maybe you'll be at 54, 56 nights and you need 60. Well, then it probably is important to know at the start of the year, maybe I should look to do like the World of Hyatt business card and put some additional spend on it to get bumped up to globalist. Because the difference between explorist and globalist in Hyatt is actually pretty substantial. Platinum and titanium and Marriott, not so much. So it's less to be figuring out how to really pursue status, because for most people it's not worth it. Most people, it's going to be better to just book the class of travel or the room you want with your points. It's more so an opportunity to see if you're going to be close and have that time to figure it out. Because if you're 4 nights away from globalist in December, well, that might be harder to put the spend on the card to get those extra 4 nights. Or maybe you don't want to figure out how to spend 4 nights at a Hyatt in the last 2 or 3 weeks of the year during the holidays, etc. So kind of having a sense for it earlier in the year can help you make decisions throughout the rest of the year. And I think
Yeah.
that's more where status plays into your spring cleaning strategy.
Yeah. I mean, this
Emily,
is
we're gonna jump to you here in a minute, but first, I feel like we have to kind of acknowledge
yeah.
Travis gave like a nice little warning that if you're new to this podcast and 35 nights a year sounds kind of ridiculous to you, I'd also like to point out if you're new to this podcast and this is your first episode, you already got past the point where we asked if we're lemons or limes. So that you've already proven that you're okay with our ridiculousness. 35 nights probably seems pretty tame compared
Yeah.
to that start. So anyway, wanted to
Yeah.
say that. Emily, tell us how
I'm
you think about status and planning for it.
I'm glad you said that. I was just thinking about, this is the first year that I have really mapped out where, like, how many nights I expect to stay in a hotel this year because of our work travel and some personal travel. So I've never really like been anywhere close to that. Like maybe I go on vacation and like stay in a hotel for, I don't know, 10 nights, 12 nights throughout the year. But this year, I think, I don't know if I'll hit any kind of like meaningful status, but really helps. I just went into Excel and like mapped out every single night I was going to spend in a hotel, what brand it was going to be, if there's a promotion that I might get like double nights or something like that, just so I have a plan going into it. And if I am like Travis said, a couple nights away from something meaningful towards the end of the year, I know I can act on it rather than being surprised by it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like when they're thinking of status, they truly do get too wrapped up in it or chasing too much status. They're chasing globalist with Hyatt and platinum or titanium with Marriott. And I don't know, maybe the hotels aren't the best example because you can get Hilton Diamond with a credit card, you can get Marriott Platinum with a credit card. So like Hyatt's you can get IHG Platinum with a credit card. So Hyatt's kind of the only one you actually have to work towards now. But especially when it comes to airline, I see so many people, and I'm calling you out, Delta people. Man, you Delta people are so loyal to Delta, like trying so hard to get your Delta status when it may not even make sense. Like you're having to connect versus taking a more convenient flight. Or people who already have status with, say, United. I've got status with United. And right now, American Airlines has a status match. Southwest has one. There's a number of different airlines that offer status matches right now. And the reason I'm not pursuing those is because I have no plans to change my like regular routine travel away from United or Southwest. I'm based in Houston, where both of those airlines fly pretty much anywhere I want to go to for my domestic and like very short haul international travel. So it doesn't make sense for me to go and try to status match with American because I'm not going to be flying American
Yeah.
anyways. So but
That's spring
people
cleaning.
Yeah.
You're assessing, you're like forward thinking, like, I'm not going to fly American. So why would I spend time to figure out if I should get status?
Yeah, but people get so hung up on having status like it's something to have and that's worthwhile. But like status only matters if you're going to get the benefits from it, and if you're not flying the airline, you're not getting the benefits from it. So why go through doing a status match with a program where you're not gonna end up using it anyways?
It's a very lime thing to do. Us lemons are more planners. How about for just travel for the rest of the year? That's another kind of spring cleaning activity from a travel points and miles perspective, looking at booking those actual trips. So I kind of want to ask the three of you, and I'll weigh in myself as well. When do you start thinking about planning travel for, the year for 2024 in this particular case? And what advice would you give to other people from a spring cleaning mindset in planning their travel for the year?
For me, planning is just completely ad hoc. Like there's no set strategy to it. For some destinations that I know will probably be hard to find award space to, I might look closer to a year out when I know availability opens up. Like if I'm trying to go to Australia or maybe South Africa or some other sort of hot spots that can be tricky to find award space to, at least savor or have a wide range of availability, I might try and plan those 12 months out, book the flights, get those, and then sort of build the trip backwards from there. But for most stuff, it's just kind of whenever. We try to plan in advance, but we just booked last week a trip to Europe here in a month.
Yeah.
So like that's not last minute, but like it's also not that far in advance either. So
I feel
I
like
don't really, it's just kind of whenever we have room in our schedule.
I think Matt's kind of spurred by changes in the industry. Like you jumped on booking that based on the news that
Oh
that
yeah,
SLH properties were not going to be bookable through Hyatt anymore, and you're like, all right, I'm going to Europe.
yep. Yeah. I'm pretty sure by the time this airs, we'll have already been there.
Yeah.
So we went to
How was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
we had a great time. Yeah.
Episode pivot, Matt's trip review.
Yep.
We had a great time. I hope. No, we went to the. We spent a couple days outside of Paris in Epernay and Reims in the Champagne region, and then headed on down to Milan for a couple nights. Stayed at the Park Hyatt Milan. This is so weird to try talking in the past tense about something that's about to happen in the future. Anyways, a couple nights at the Park Hyatt Milan, and then heading up to Lake Como and staying 3 nights at the Grand Hotel Victoria there, which is a property bookable on Hyatt points because it participates in the SLH program. Has gotten just kind of some rave reviews. It's one of those weird properties that kind of flies under the radar, but if you're in the know, you know that it's a really good one. So I'm excited to check it out. We had actually penciled in a trip there last summer, had found availability, didn't book it, but it was fine. But we didn't end up taking the trip, so it just didn't work out anyway. So I'm excited to make it happen and hope it lives up to the hype.
It did.
Yeah, sorry, it did live up to the hype. I can still taste the pasta. Oh, we've had such a great time.
Lovely
Depending
spring
on how
weather.
far,
Yes.
depending on how far you want to take this, you mentioned it participates in the SLH program. Maybe we
Well,
should say used to participate.
It
because
may
that is
it
changing.
may still participate, or it may have participated. We don't know the end date.
Boom.
I feel like we're speaking in
Uh,
tongues.
Yeah, this and done. Back
How
to
about
present day.
Emily?
Yeah.
Emily and Travis, how about you? Like planning for the rest of the year, how do you kind of think about that, and what in particular do you
Yeah.
have going on right now?
So I only have one trip booked right now, which is coming up / in the past when this airs. So beyond that, I haven't really booked much for the rest of the year, but a lot of that has to do with finishing up earning the Southwest Companion Pass. That is basically my like shuttle bus to weddings. So I know I have to make these trips, but I'm just waiting. Like we've booked everything on the Southwest points that we have, but I'm waiting to get the Companion Pass so I can cancel my ticket, add myself as a companion, and get a bunch of those points back. So once we have that, I might start looking at some fall trips that I can do on Southwest, like Costa Rica, Mexico, Hawaii, something like that. But I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself until I actually am not physically holding the Southwest Companion Pass, but it's in my presence.
Travis, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very similar to both of you. Like big trips or trips that are during peak travel seasons, I try to plan in advance. So I actually just booked another Christmas and New Year's trip. Just got it done Wednesday, I
Where are
think.
you going?
Tell us about this future trip because this will
Yes.
not be in the
Yeah,
Wow,
this one is future. It's not the Maldives, but we're gonna do the Seychelles for Christmas.
Ooh, nice. Where are you staying?
The Hilton, is it the La Brise, the one that's on its own island?
Yep.
Whoa.
I was
Nice.
sad to see, and I haven't heard much talk about this, that there's a new Waldorf that
Yep.
opened in the Seychelles.
That's why I was asking.
No availability whatsoever
Oh.
while we're there. Yeah.
Bummer.
You not even cash, like it is sold out.
Wow.
And then I saw the cash
Oh,
prices
Christmas.
anyways and was like, well,
Yeah.
that does, yeah.
It
that
looks
wasn't
pretty sweet,
realistic
though.
anyways. It
Yeah.
does. It really does. Although I am kind of torn now because now I'm thinking, should I take advantage of Matt's globalist status and do a guest of honor at the Park Hyatt Maldives instead?
Hey, you'll
Yeah,
be on
you
the
only-
Indian Ocean either way, so it's just a
Yeah,
matter of who you want to
it's
be.
been on
west or
our-
north.
It's been on our radar to return there, and I kind of forgot about your globalist status expiring at the end of the year. But the
Mhm.
flight options weren't as good. I mean, they're not great to the Seychelles. We're flying Ethiopian there and back. the Maldives options were.
Can you go
very-
direct from Houston? Well, not direct, but like Houston to Ethiopia. Is there a flight?
No, we're going out
Okay.
of Atlanta.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. I might revisit this, and this trip might change. Remembering that I could get a guest of honor booking from Matt.
Fine.
But
you can use me. I'm happy.
thank you. But in terms of like smaller trips, though, yeah, those I'm very similar. I'll book flights and then figure out hotels later, unless it is somewhere like the Maldives or Seychelles. Like by the time this airs, I will have. Well, I might be in either Australia or New Zealand when this one airs. At the time of recording, I don't have all of my hotels booked yet. So
There's
I
always
probably need-
travel lodges available.
Yes. There's always availability in a travel lodge.
So especially for their favorite podcast host.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
for sure. VIP rate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so I'm sure I'll get that figured out. But in terms other than that, like Maria just told me that after hearing one of our recently aired episodes that she wants to do the Ondas Costa Rica for her birthday this year. So
Does that make us
That's Emily's
influencers?
fault.
Yeah.
Emily,
Yeah,
Emily, you
you
laid
are
that
an
one out.
influencer now.
it is Emily's.
I want to go
Emily's.
too.
Yeah, well, Labor Day. So I'll probably get a guest of honor booking then as well.
Yeah, Matt's gonna be getting a lot of requests. We're gonna have to set up like a form request.
Yeah.
See if we can include you.
So
I do have one question. Like as far as planning like this goes, I know we talk about not being short-sighted in what cards you get based on where you want to go, but do you ever think about that? Like you're thinking about going back to the Maldives 2025. Any card strategies in particular that are going to get you there, or are you already set with your points balance?
I mean, I probably have enough points to make it happen. I mean, I think one of the biggest spring cleaning things I'm working on right now is trying to actually redeem my orphaned points and miles that during COVID I transferred to a program and then ended up having to cancel. I've got some lingering Emirates miles. I've got a ton of Virgin Atlantic miles. I did recently use a lot of my Air Canada ones and Life miles. So I'm working on reducing those balances instead of having to leverage transferable points. But because of that, I have plenty of transferable points to make it work. But that will come up a little bit when we get into my deep dive and
Yes.
and I make y'all do my spring cleaning for me.
Oh, well, let's begin the dive.
Yeah.
Everyone, how do you start a dive? Do you
Get-
say like divers in the water or something?
Yeah. Get your mask on.
Yeah.
Your
So
flippers.
I'm for those of you listening, you won't be able to see, but we'll do our best to talk through it. But those of you who are choosing to watch, I'm just going to share my 10x for us to go through this. Before I do that, little bit of context, and this kind of follows up on Emily's question. I really am. I find myself pivoting and shifting between hotel programs. So for the past few years, I've been earning and redeeming a lot with Marriott, and now I'm starting to shift back towards Hyatt. So that information will play in a lot. I am trying to reduce some annual fees, but I don't know. Let's get into it. So let's see my 10x. So this is my 10x profile. I even updated my credit score yesterday. So credit should be good enough to get approved for any cards. Currently sitting at 2 million points, so doing pretty healthy there. I've got 24 cards open. This is going to be kind of one of the things I'm looking to reduce is the number of cards I've got open, whether it's reducing them or deciding to pursue retention offers for some of them. I'm currently at 124. I have not had a ton of card velocity over the past year or so, and most of the cards I've opened have been business cards. So my 524 count is low. I am looking to think through my chase strategy because I have a number of chase cards open, so I'll need to close some to be eligible for others. And I do want to reduce my total annual fees. $5,000 that's not a fun number to see on here. So so let's maybe start with my points just to kind of give you guys a quick overview of where I'm sitting at points wise. So 800,000 Amex membership rewards. Yes, I did round up there. 650,000 Chase Ultimate rewards, 540,000 Marriott Bonvoy, 88,000 American Airlines miles. Sadly, now only 9,245 United mileage plus miles.
You could fly to Mexico with that though.
Yeah, you can go one way.
I could, yeah. Well, that's that. To be fair, that's because I just used United miles for those flights to the Seychelles. So,
Nice.
I burned all of those. 6,000 Citi points, and currently.
Wait, did you burn your Citi points?
Yeah, I was about to ask too.
Oh, I did. Well, I actually did a little while ago by transferring them to Life Miles. So they're.
I was hoping you weren't going to say Turkish. Pride.
No. So before, like, what I would like to take out of this is the cleaning strategy and also a card strategy. And I have some stuff in mind. But let's kind of get into my wallet.
All right, Travis is about to show us his My Wallet in My10x, which is kind of like the points and miles equivalent of like MTV Cribs. Maybe when you see their car collection in the garage or something, because to us, this probably seems relatively normal. Like, let's look at my 25 cards and millions of points. But to the average person, it's like, wow, this is pretty cool. So, Travis, we are ready to see your MTV Cribs wallet. Take us in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my wallet. All 24 cards that I've got right here. So starting off, I feel as if Amex is a good place to cut some annual fees, but this is such a tough one. I mean, looking here, let's do some easy math. 7, 14, 2,100. Let's call that another 700. So 2,800, 3,000, like over $3,000 worth of my annual fees come just from Amex cards.
Yeah.
So in terms of annual fees, I feel
that's where you got to start.
that's like gotta be where I start. All of these, with the exception of one of these 3 Blue Business Plus cards that I have, were opened more than definitely 2+ years ago. I am really bad about remembering to go in and update these things, but it's like these are things I just know and have in my head, which would be better too. So that's probably my first spring cleaning task, is to actually put in the relevant information.
When you opened it, when you earned the bonus, what the bonus was, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Between your Blue Business Plus cards, your Platinum cards, and your Gold cards, what are you thinking here?
So
weigh your strategy.
Yeah, the Blue Business Pluses, I mean, there's no annual fee, so those ones to me are fine to keep open. I like them as everyday spend cards. I probably don't need 3 at this point. That's a lot to maximize those out. So I could probably close one of those, but like that doesn't really have any super big impact in terms of my goals.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards closing my Amex Business Gold cards. I don't really regularly use them. They did just increase the annual fee, and they're cards that I definitely feel are hard for me to take advantage of the full annual fee. kind of like what you were saying earlier, Matt, of can you get the value of the annual fee? And even if you do, like, is it worth it? And I could through like the monthly Grubhub credits now, but like I don't. It's one of those that I forget to use. Like this is an Uber Eats household. I feel like this, like what delivery service you use is regional, and so I just forget about them. Quite frankly, so
I forget about the $25 a month dining credits on my Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. So I'm right there with you.
yeah. So I definitely feel like the business gold cards are targets to either close or see if I can get a retention offer to make it worthwhile. I'm fine with like, this is just personal philosophy. I'm fine with keeping a card open if I get a retention offer that's at least break even. I can get enough extra value out of the points to make it worthwhile for me. And so if I can get a retention offer that's at least like, say 30,000 points, I'm fine to keep these open. But if I don't, I really don't think that the value is there for me to justify keeping either one of my business golds open, unless one of you can sell me on keeping a business gold open.
No,
That one's a hard
Is
one
it-
because
Yeah.
the categories, unless you're taking advantage of the 4X categories, I don't see a reason to keep it open, especially when you get, if that were your only Amex card, okay, maybe, but you've got
Yeah.
such strong ones on other ones that,
All right.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should just vote on every card down the list. Like, what say you? Like Gladiator.
Yeah.
Thumbs down, that one's out.
Okay,
Alright,
so
so
then
we're-
if you get rid of both of those, you're saving
$750.
okay, progress.
Yeah, I'm closing those. That's
Okay.
that's an easy start.
Amex
I-
Gold's got to be a keeper.
Amex Gold's
Personal.
an absolute keeper. I love the Amex Personal Gold, especially at the $250 annual fee. The 4X, it's my default card for groceries. 4X points on the first $25,000 you spend a year at US supermarkets. I do think it excludes like wholesale clubs, but this is not a Costco house, no matter how much my wife wishes it were. So HEB family, where I get my 4X points.
Mm-hmm.
There's another important question we have to ask about the Amex Gold. It's related to lemons and limes. Are you a gold or a rose gold color for that card?
I am a gold color.
I am also a
And-
gold color.
It's
I can tell Matt's
not-
a rose gold.
Matt's definitely rose gold.
Matt's sans Amex Gold for about another year, unfortunately. So
Ooh.
a weird nuance. I
Ooh.
had the old that's a mouthful. Premier Rewards gold card back in 2017 or 18 when they basically discontinued that, relaunch and launched it as the new Amex Gold card. But because I had a bonus on that, I'm excluded from getting a bonus on the gold card because they treated them as the same product, even though they're not. So yeah, it's a whole
Mm.
ordeal.
Mm.
But I think it's 8 or 10 more months, or it's sometime later this year. I technically should be eligible for it based on Amex's lifetime ban or lifetime
what about-
restrictions on the bonus.
What about the platinum restriction on it?
that? I also have to factor in. So I don't know. I haven't figured
Yeah.
out what I'm going to do with all these new Amex personal card family restrictions.
Yeah, I mean
Well, that does kind of prompt me. I feel like we should probably address Travis. We mentioned, of course, people can see 3 of the same card here, right? 3 blue business plus cards, 2 business platinum cards from American Express. It's widely known that Amex has a 1 bonus per lifetime rule that Matt just mentioned. Travis, can you tell us, how did this come to be? How should other people kind of interpret or think about that?
Yeah, so Amex, even though they have the 1 bonus per lifetime rule, that they sometimes make exceptions to that. So over the past few years, I've gotten a number of either letters in the mail or emails giving me an offer to open another one. and that offer did not have the lifetime language. So it was an opportunity for me to earn the bonus again. And it fit in my strategy. At the time, I was trying to get my 524 count down. So it just fit really well in my strategy to open these Amex business cards. I admittedly have not gotten one in a while, sadly, except for a blue Business Plus one. I've seen them kind of dry up a bit on the Business Gold and Business Platinum, but I'm still looking. I'm still hoping. Amex, if you're listening, send me another one, please.
They want those $750.
You're not helping your case here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you just axed 2 from your portfolio, maybe even more.
Yeah.
You're not helping your case.
So
Yeah, and
Amex,
I guess one quick nuance to add to that too. I'm trying to clear up the inevitable like mind blown. Like, wait, how do you have them all at the same time? Is when you do get those no lifetime language offers, you do not have to close the other card that you have open. Like you can open a second of the same product, get another bonus. This is, I wouldn't even call it really like a loophole. This is something that just Amex just does, and a fair number of people do take advantage of, and that's how Travis.
They're targeted, so they're not widely
Right.
available. They are targeted based on who knows what kind of sort of customer metrics and profile and data. So
Check card match. There's only one thing not to do. Don't like call Amex and be like, oh, can you target me for a second one of these? Right? The answer is going to be no.
More,
But
please,
do pay attention
sir.
to that. Yes.
help, I need more membership rewards. I don't
Yeah.
even have 1 million. Yeah, so good points. Amex Gold, the personal gold, is an absolute keeper. I plan on keeping the Marriott Bonvoy business card open for the Elite Night credits. There's a few reasons why I like the Elite Night credits on the Bonvoy business card. First is it helps me get to status sooner. Every year, I like having at least platinum status with Marriott for the complimentary breakfast. So those Elite Nights go towards that. Those Elite Nights also count towards your Marriott lifetime status. So I'm now lifetime gold, and I have enough years of platinum status somehow. I don't actually know how Marriott calculates it, but they say I've been platinum for 10 years, even though I haven't been. But
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
somehow by their records I am, so I'll take it. But I just need Elite Nights to work my way towards lifetime platinum status. So those help towards that. Add in the free 35K night certificate every year. It's kind of a no-brainer for me to keep open for $125.
Okay. Fair reasoning.
Yeah.
Accepted.
Yeah.
The Blue Business Plus is like a $0 annual fee, so maybe could close one just to consolidate some, but there's really no harm in keeping any of those open, in my opinion. I'll say Platinum card stays open since I've only got one of it and I can get the value of it. The Business Platinums, I think, are the real tricky ones here. And the tricky part of the Business Platinums is I get retention offers on them every year. They've been a lot lower recently, like 20, 30,000 points. But the Business Platinums are ones where I find the credits really easy to use and really easy to get the value from. There's the $200 Dell credits every 6 months. So that's $400 worth. There's the $200 airline incidental credit every year that I'm able to use on both of them. That's puts us at $600 worth of credits. There's the $10 wireless credit. So every month I do that. That's $120. So I'm at $720 worth of value just from the credits on it alone. Add in a
and that's on
retention
one
offer.
card, not two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's on one card. So these are like so hard for me. Every time the annual fee posts, my gut instinct is no, I should consider closing or downgrading. But these are ones where I would love to cut the annual fee, but I have strong convictions that I actually do get the value every year. But
Well, if you're
man,
getting
I
strong
think-
retention offers from them too, you're basically taking a wash, give or take, on the annual fee, which is great. and then you're throwing maybe 20 or 40,000 membership rewards on top of that for each card. So
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that we mention that too, because we see so many users who have the same reaction to the total annual fee on the homepage of My10x that you do, right? When you see just the cost all at once in one place, it's going to look like a lot. But when you actually kind of dive into, well, like we're doing right now, here's about $1,400 of annual fees. Ooh, that feels real steep. But as you kind of lay it out like that, you're coming out well ahead.
I am. And that's what makes it so tough is it is a lot of annual fees and I don't like paying them, but I know that I'm getting the value. So I think I'm comfortable with the Amex strategy, cutting the 2 business golds, which reduces my annual fees by $750. That's a good chunk and good start already.
Yeah, I'm keeping a tally as we move through your different card
nice.
issuers. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So far, we've saved $750 in the last 50 minutes.
Woo! All right. Capital One should be easy. I've got a Spark Miles for business card. As long as I don't have a Venture X business, Capital One, please approve me for a Venture X business or a Venture X. This card is staying open. I want a Venture X. Capital One does not seem to want to approve me. I have some ideas of how to get approved. But until then, this card is staying open to maintain a good relationship with Capital One. It's a small annual fee to pay. Plus, this card did get me access to pre-sale tickets for Taylor Swift.
Wow.
So,
I mean, huge ROI. Done. Keep it forever. Oh, I can't wait for this next one.
All right.
Chase time.
Let's talk.
There are
Let's talk.
as many Chase cards here as there are shoes in the closet of a typical MTV Cribs episode. So let's go through and see which one's going to keep.
Well, let's
Chase.
see what's your total on annual fees for Chase cards? We've got
$525.
I was gonna say it's weird because you have 4 with no annual fee, and a 3 with mid-tier, $99 to $95 to $99 annual fees, and then bam, $450 and $525.
Yeah.
Oh, and $199.
Yeah.
And $199. Yeah. So, I mean, less than Amex. I mean, you're talking
way less. Yeah, way less.
Like about 14, let's call it $1,500 in annual fees. Definitely a lot less. So let's just go down the line. Chase Freedom Flex. This is my oldest card. So this is my anchor card for my credit over, man, how old is this card now? 13
Greater than
years
2
old.
years.
Yeah. 13 years old. So
Okay.
that one's just kind of a non-negotiable for my average age of credit. I'm going to skip down. My Prime Visa as well is my second oldest card. So that's why those two are still on there is $0 annual fees. I opened my Freedom when I was 18, opened an Amazon card when I was 19. The value that those play for my credit is pretty.
Keep them for the memories.
And of course, no annual fee makes it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I know where the cards are? Absolutely not.
That's fine. In a sock drawer somewhere.
They are. And admittedly, I have started using the Prime Visa on Amazon more. Just the 5% back. When I'm not working on a bonus, 5% back on Amazon, I'll take it. If I needed other points, then I probably wouldn't. But it's kind of hard to be, when anything else is going to give me 1 to 2 points per dollar. The ROIs may be there on other points, but kind of hard to argue there. So let's talk inks. I did recently close an ink preferred, and if you see my dates opened, silly me, I'm eligible for an ink cash and an ink unlimited again. I think that should be on my radar, is closing those inks and getting the bonus on those again.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. At what's the current offer? Current offer at time of recording, 750. That's 150,000 ultimate rewards points. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Plus a referral.
Ooh, yeah.
If you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just for people listening, the reason that's an opportunity is because those cards are older than 24 months.
Yeah,
So
one's
Then-
from
Since the bonus.
late 21 and one's from early-ish 2020. So
Yeah. Seems
Plus-
like
yeah,
a bit of a no-brainer.
Of course. And you never know when like maybe a new product rolls out in the family that might catch your attention at some point. We're talking
That's
past,
true.
future. Who knows? So it does free up some space to be ready for whatever comes.
Yeah. So we can close the Ink Cash and Ink Unlimited. It doesn't help me with annual fee, but since I'm under 524, it's a good opportunity to be eligible again for those bonuses in the near future.
when you close those, are you gonna give back your credit line or are you going to shift it?
don't let
That's
them take it.
That's a good question. I'm gonna shift it onto my United or World of Hyatt business cards, because those are the only although I guess I could open an Ink Preferred and shift it there, because that's actually my next recommended card. But I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself, but that would probably make sense for my next card. I'm also taking my own notes here.
Yeah. It's so
This is a
nice
real-time
that
consult. Yeah.
I was gonna say if anyone who's a 10x Travel Plus member enjoys what we're doing here, feel free to use any of your consults to do an audit of your wallet.
Yeah, it can apparently be helpful.
We won't do it in front of tens of thousands of people, though. Well, probably not, but we would tell you first if we were.
So CSP, it's just a little bit over 2 years old. The bonus eligibility on that is every 48 months. It's a card that I like having open until I'm eligible for it again.
CSP is also the only card you have open right now that is allowing you to use your Chase Ultimate Reward points for travel and transfer partners. So that's kind of a key thing to see in this portfolio here.
Yeah, good point. Bonvoy Boundless just opened it last year, so not much I could do. I'll probably close it later this year once it's at the 1 year mark. It's not a card that I'm passionate about keeping open.
And you already have the Ritz card, so you can't upgrade it.
I do, and I've decided to keep my Ritz card open anyways. So
You could.
Wow, you were
Can
kind
you
of torn
upgrade?
on that.
Can you upgrade the Boundless to another Ritz and then have double Ritzes that you can drop?
probably, but like I was already on the fence of keeping the Ritz open or not. So like upgrading to have a second one to have another $450 annual fee seems antithetical to the ultimate goals here. So I'm a sit on
But
closing
it's made
that
of
one.
metal.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. They're metal again. So I have mine sitting here on my desk.
Yes.
So Ritz card, that'll stay open. I think the two Uniteds are actually kind of the tricky ones, because
I'm shocked.
if the United Club
Yeah, this will be
is
interesting.
if the United Club is, well, the reason is because United Club is more than 2 years old, so I'm eligible for the bonus again. I want to keep it open, but so I might close it just to get the bonus again, especially since I just burned all of my United miles, so I'm a little short there. United Business will be at 2 years old later this year, so I'll probably do that one as well. I'll probably throw in a like Explorer card here too. So I feel like with Chase, what I'm generally thinking is I'm kind of setting trying to prepare myself, since I'm under 524, to go after some of these cards again. Like we talked about the Ink Cash, Ink Unlimited, get the Ink Preferred, could hit the United cards all over again. I'm doing Hyatt, the World of Hyatt business card. I literally just opened like in February. So I'm really kind of like, when it comes to Chase, I like to do Ultimate Rewards, United, and Hyatt. Although, admittedly, I might throw IHG in there. It's not a program I've ever really explored, but I don't know. I've been thinking about it to at least give it a try.
So what I'm hearing here is that we've saved no money. in Chase.
Correct. We've saved no money with Chase.
That's
Emily's
fine.
the honorary Dave Ramsey of this episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's great, Travis. But how much money are we saving on this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we could cut out the. I want a United Club no matter what. So even if I close it, it's going to get reopened.
Yeah.
Just to get the
We're
bonus
not
again.
we're
so.
not removing any annual fees, but we're also not really adding because we're just closing and
Well,
opening again.
Since I'm also under 524 right now, you know, I'm wanting to pursue some Chase cards anyway. So it's kind of just like repeating my Chase strategy, which I do every like 3 to 4 years. And that's where I'm at in my natural
Yeah.
point cycle.
Yep. Makes sense.
City. Oh, man, City. Last one. I'm going to close the City Premier. That annual fee actually just hit. I'm closing it. I've gotten the points out. It's the only saving grace is on gas, and I don't really spend on gas much. So City Premier is getting closed. The Advantage cards, these are tough because if I close them, I'm not eligible for a bonus on them again. Both of these are over 48 months old. So I probably could. Oh, go ahead.
I have a solution for you.
What's
And
that?
product change them to a City double cash.
Yep.
Ooh,
Mm.
I like
No
that.
annual
What's
fee?
no annual fee?
I'll be honest, I don't think that factors into the like open and close restriction
not.
on the Advantage card because you're not like closing that line of credit. So I think it
Mm.
kind of skirts around that restriction.
Yeah,
That's a
Citi has
good-
such strange rules about this. What is it? 48 months from any card closure.
or
I guess not any card, but definitely the Citi AA
Bonus
cards. That's
earn
the ones we're
or
talking
card
about.
closure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is odd because why would it be the bonus earn? But anyway,
Yep.
yeah, and the PC meaning product change, they don't tend to follow conventional kind of card family rules, right? The Citi American Airlines card would seem to be completely unrelated to a Citi double cash card, which is cash back. But at the time of this recording, Citi does allow you to make that product change, and that does not start a 48-month clock for you to repeat this card again. So that
The
for
card
virtually
does
everyone,
need to be
usually
over
can.
1 year old for you to be able to do that, though. They will tell you that it's
Oh.
not available if you try and do it at like 10 or 11 months or whatever. But kind of once you pass that 1 year threshold, then it becomes available.
well, these are from
in
like
which that-
2015.
No,
so.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
letting that. I'm adding that out there for people.
Yeah.
Other than
And the 1 year thing, I believe it is actually like a federal law, not bank
Mhm.
policy. You can't product change a credit product in the
Correct.
first year of opening.
correct.
Yeah. That would be a good way to say it. I feel like
Yeah.
this is actually an interesting dilemma point, though, because I value American Airlines miles over Citi. And you might think that that doesn't factor into the discussion here, but the reason it factors in is one of these cards. I have my card numbers turned off, but one of these cards actually still works through plastic to pay my mortgage without incurring a cash advance fee. And so if I product changed it, I mean, it still would as a Citi double cash, but I'd actually rather have the Advantage miles. But I think I need to dig in more if I can get another Citi Advantage if I've got one open. If not, that might impact it, and I might take that risk. But that's a good chunk of AA points that I get every year.
Oh yeah.
From doing that. So I think I'll have to I can definitely do it with at least one, because one of these I
Yeah.
don't do anything with.
Yeah. That's
So-
Nice.
progress though. Better
Yeah.
better than
Saving you
Chase.
money left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that puts us, what's our kind of like final tally at the end there, Emily?
Well,
Of
since you're
annual-
you're only thinking about downgrading one of your Citi Advantage cards,
750 from Amex and then 99 from Citi.
and another 95. So
Oh,
one
okay.
194 from Citi plus 750 from Amex, 944.
So let's call it $1,000. I mean, that's about a 20% savings in annual fees.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad.
And the other thing that's great is that our algorithms are working correctly because we all landed on the Chase Inc. Business Preferred card as Travis's next move. And there it is as your
There you
top
go.
recommended
We
card.
We are perfectly
right there.
calibrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those who are on audio only, Travis is clicking to the My Next Card section of My10x, which takes into account the cards that you currently have in your wallet and then shows you what we believe are the best ones available for you that you are eligible for, given the many nuances that go into that in terms of total value.
Yeah. It's recommending the Chase Ink Business Preferred first, which I 100% agree with. Don't know why I did the World of Hyatt Business instead of that. For some reason, I decided to, though. I'd skip the Capital One Ventures. That's just because if I'm going to pick between the Capital One Venture or the Capital One Venture X, I'm going to personally pick the Capital One Venture X right now. But neither one I want to take up a 524 slot right now. Citi Premier, I don't like it. I've had it. It's still a good bonus, and some people are able to find a good value from it. I'm just not one of those. See, IHG there, man, they're just kind of taunting me. So I've kind of been thinking about doing it. That's 300,000 IHG points. That's nothing to sneeze at.
No,
So,
I've gotten the IHG cards before. I've found value in them. So
yeah.
nice
So,
to have.
but hey, I feel like I have a better plan than when we started this. Reducing my annual fees by about $1,000. I can set myself up to do Ink Preferred, Ink Cash, and Ink Unlimited at the offers at time of recording. That's worth 250,000 ultimate rewards points, which I'm very happy with. If I do the IHG cards, that's 300,000 right there. I think that's a pretty decent plan. I think one of the things not shown on here as well is there is the opportunity in My10x to add your P2 to your wallet. For this demonstration, I chose not to add my P2, so that way we aren't going through mine and hers and spending too much time. But yeah, you can do that, so that way you can easily manage both you and your P2's cards all in one place. But thank y'all. I feel like I've got a much better plan. I've been feeling like I've been in a fog with a lot of uncertainty about what my next moves are, and I feel like I've got a good plan for the next few months.
It's certainly easier to do when you can see all these things in one single place.
Yeah.
And go on a podcast with 3 other points and miles experts who can all weigh in on that feature. Not coming anytime soon to My10x unless AI development really accelerates here in the near future.
You
But
just
as
have
Emily
like
mentioned,
you as a frowny face if someone tries to pick like the 27th recommended card.
boom.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait,
We'll just
don't
put you
close
over in the
that, and a
corner.
pop-up
You'll
comes
be
up.
the new version of Clippy from Microsoft Office back in the day.
Yes.
That's price.
Let's not do that though. Yeah, and I feel like we should also highlight again what Emily mentioned earlier. For those of you who are 10x Travel Plus members, which is our paid membership program that gives you kind of additional access to our resources, you do get 2 one-on-one consults per year on video, but not recorded for a podcast, where if you're using My10x, you can go through this exact same exercise with one of our experts, ask questions. They can give you opinion on what they would do for any of these cards. It just makes it so much easier to manage your points and miles, stay ahead of things, do your own spring cleaning. And for those of you who are not so much into like a set recurring kind of spring cleaning timeline, My10x does have another great feature where it will send you a reminder email when an annual fee looks like it's upcoming on a card. That way you're not caught off guard and you can make your decisions kind of as they come up instead of batching them all into one time per year.
Yeah. And
So
one of the
like that.
things that I want to highlight for our audience as well is if you get to a point where you don't feel like you've got a clear path or a clear picture forward, that's normal. I've been feeling this way for like 6 months, not really knowing what my card strategy is going to be, what I'm going to go after. And I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, this is my full-time job now. So, so if you're ever feeling like that and feeling uncomfortable and feeling uncertain, just know that that's a totally normal point in this process. That was 100% why I volunteered to be the one to be audited, because it's something that I could have done myself, but it's nice to get everyone else's help and input and feedbacks, because I feel like I get in my own head a lot, and I'm, you know, it's easy for me to justify not taking action on these things, but talking it through with people here um, really helps with that accountability. So even if you're not new, that can be a good way to get some value out of your 10XT Plus membership, is to just get the chance to sit down with someone twice a year, walk through what your points and miles strategy is, just to have someone else to be a sounding board, and just know that that's just a natural part of the points and miles process.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that we went through this exercise, and I now know definitively that, at least briefly, I have more United miles than Travis does. So I'm going to be sharing that with him daily until he inevitably blows right past me again.
That's because they're so great. I've redeemed like almost 500,000 this year.
Wow.
That's impressive. Yeah.
I feel like this is helpful to from a perspective of like someone who's new and wondering like, how do you keep this going for so long?
Right.
Or like, what does someone who's like experienced at this, what does their wallet look like? Like now you know. Now you can refer back to this and you can say, you can kind of like, I don't know if set goals is the right word, but you can like set expectations for yourself of like, oh, this is what it looks like when someone's, been doing this for a while and think strategically about their plan. So helpful for me too.
Anything else to add for Travis's kind of walkthrough or audit before we wrap this episode up?
No.
Good here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to close it out, we want to remind you that we are here to help you make the most of your points and miles this year and in the indefinite future. Best way to do that is to sign up for 10x Travel Plus. That's our paid membership program that we mentioned throughout the episode. Use your one-on-one consultations and help plan that 2024 strategy. Make it as simple as possible. Check out My10x. You've seen it all throughout this episode, especially if you're watching here in video. It makes this entire process so much easier. It's entirely free. It'll recommend your next card. It'll remind you when annual fees are coming up. It just kind of is an autopilot of sorts for the points and miles hobby. And lastly, be sure to join our Facebook group, where now over 300,000 people come together to share points and miles knowledge, ask questions, get help, and just have a lot of fun. That, I believe, is going to wrap it up. For all of us here at 10X Travel, I'm Bryce. Thanks for listening to Take Off, our podcast, and we will talk to you next time. Bye now.